everyone. My name is Hannah Bothner, and I am the short film program director for Tallgrass Film Festival. And I am here today with Molly O'Shea, who is the writer, producer, and lead actress in Miss Fortunate. Hi, Molly.
Hi, nice to meet you.
I am really excited to talk to you about this film because I think it's very beautiful and just like shows all of these different sides of grief that come about. What was your source of inspiration for writing this film? What made you want to write this film?
Well, it's autobiographic. I my mum died when I was 21, and it left me with a pretty weird sense of humor
Yeah.
that I'm quite grateful for, to be honest. I think, yeah, that was it. I was in this strange place of being like very grief stricken, but also having crushes on boys, and it
Hmm.
being like, oh, and I remember I like went on a date with a guy not that long after my mum died, and I was like, this feels wrong, but also
Yeah.
why? And there's this thing of the I feel like the sort of like feminine romantic part of me that's like falling in love every 2 minutes. Like I think it was a good example of like life just doesn't stop when you want it to.
Yeah.
There's everything moves on, and it's both a blessing and a curse. And I think also there's that thing of being like of the just unreadiness for adulthood that I really wanted to capture. And I think I was like, oh, I think I'm a pretty good example of someone who was not ready to be an adult. So yeah.
Yeah, I totally get that. And I think a lot of people forget how much were you in the situation that the character was in the film where you had to be the one to like make all the decisions and talk to the lawyers and yeah.
Yes,
I can't
yes.
imagine that at 21.
It was, I mean, honestly, it was just so funny. Like the absurd, I mean, there's a scene in the in the film with a like a sort of like tax lawyer.
Uh-huh.
And people talk about that, and people are like, everything he says is so absurd. And it's all verbatim. Like they genuinely
Oh.
asked me if my mother owned a tortoise. And I was like, is that, why does the government have to know that?
Yeah.
And what, no, why would she? I mean, like, yeah, it's just that there was just so much. I think it's the light in the shade, it's in the
Mhm.
same way that I think Macbeth is Shakespeare's funniest play. There's the like the anything that dark, like it just means that light shines through. If
Mhm.
that's sort of, I think it you need things to be funnier in those moments, so you just find them.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think that there's a lot of funerals out there that don't have little moments of like awkward
Yeah.
laughter and yeah.
Yes, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Speaking of the tax lawyer, to go back just a second, the the cast for this film is quite incredible. Can you tell me how you managed to nab such like heavy hitters? I mean, all of the friends, your like mother in the movies, friends are in all of these things, and then Paddington himself, Finley Shaw. That's pretty incredible.
Yes, yeah, I was very lucky. I was very, very lucky. People were very nice about the script. Tania Miller immediately said yes upon reading the script, and I was like, oh my god, I was just so honored. Honestly, it sort of feels like every time someone doesn't reject you in this industry, it feels like you're winning an award. It's really, and I probably should because it's so rare. But yeah, I mean, I'm just pure luck, really. I
Mm,
think. I mean, I think yeah, all the actors became attached because they read the script and liked it, and that was, I mean, yeah, I feel weird saying that because it's sort of, I feel like I'm blowing my own horn a bit, but yeah, I don't know. I was just so, I mean, I'm still so flattered and grateful to them because I think it was so, yeah, every time someone said yes, I was like, really? Nah, you sure? You can back out.
Yeah. Absolutely. I Another thing that I really enjoyed about the film was the apartment. That the main I actually honestly all of the settings were really incredible. I feel like they added so much to the story. I love that there's that scene in the coffin shop. Is that what you would call, I guess, mortuary funeral home? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Um I But I would love to know how you went about finding that apartment, finding these locations, because I think they just added so much to the ambiance of the film.
Thank you. The apartment was my apartment.
Wow.
Because we didn't have any money.
Uh-huh.
So a bunch of my friends, like the apartment was basically looks like that anyway, but we
Mm.
painted one of the walls pink. Like my living room was just blood red because my mum was like that. And we decided to paint one of the hallway pink. And that was kind of it. That's just that was just my apartment. The coffin shop was honestly such a trial. And actually, like initially, it was in like a proper like funeral home, but we couldn't find one. They were impossible to find because none of them look like you imagine them. Like none
Oh,
of them have
yeah.
example tombstones, and so it
Yes.
just sort of looks like you're in a corporate room, which isn't very. You don't want that cinematically.
Yeah.
So then we were desperate to find some places, and actually, one of my producers found a man who was selling coffins on eBay. And he was like, don't suppose you have a great deal of these stored anywhere, do you? And he was like, yeah. And then we went to this functioning morgue that was in East London, that was attached to this beautiful mosque. And they were like, yeah, by all means, just you can use it. And we were like, thank you so much. And we're in the recce, the man whose name was Egg was like, oh, just beware, we do have some clients. And we were like, oh, in the fridge you have, yeah, right, there will be dead bodies feet away from you. Which was like, and you know what, that feels appropriate.
Yeah, I was gonna say it completely makes sense. You're making this film about grief and about that process, and yeah, that makes total sense. Oh my goodness, that's incredible. It sounds like it was exactly a coffin shop.
Yeah, exactly. It was very, very ramshackle. They were all like saran wrapped, and you were like, oh yeah, I mean, this is, yeah, okay. It was great. I couldn't have, it's one of those things where like I rewrote the scene to reflect the location because I was like, oh, this is, and it was just so much better than I had initially even planned. Yeah, necessity is the mother of invention, I think.
Exactly. As somebody who wore a lot of hats on this project, do you have a favorite stage or aspect? I know it's really hard to play favorites, but you know, the writing stage, or do you like the prep stage or the actual like acting more?
I think honestly every stage got better. Like each stage I was like, this is just too good to be true, because I mean, when Ella first became attached, I was like, oh my God, this incredibly cool woman is involved. Oh my God. And it was so thrilling.
Mhm.
And each time someone else came on board, it was just that. And I
Mhm.
remember sitting in my dining room with the whole production team being like, all of these people are so incredible. And it was just so, it was, yeah, each moment got a bit better. But I really love the like getting your knees dirty
Uh-huh.
filming. I just love that. It's so hectic and exciting and hard. It's very hard, but also it's so, there are so many unexpected things that are suddenly there. And I think one of the privileges of being like the writer and the actor is that you can go like, hey, this isn't working, or hey, this unexpectedly is working, and then
Uh-huh.
you can be thrown in, which I mean, I think actually speaks to the fact that writers should just always be on set, but
Mm.
that is a different issue.
Different conversation.
Yeah.
So you know, I have this film in the relationships block for a number of reasons. I think it's, you know, I love this like exploring, you know, going through grief, but then also like this, you know, being boy crazy and you know, needing to find that like love in that moment. But also as somebody who went through something a little bit similar this year, not, you know, definitely I luckily, but it's not exactly. I was not by myself.
Right.
But having that like group of women to lean on, like having that is so incredibly important, and those relationships, and then the loss of the mother daughter relationship
Yeah.
in the film too. I that's one of the reasons that this ended up in the relationships block is I just wanted to explore all of those. But what I found so incredible in the film is how amazingly defined in like those relationships were. I mean, of course, we have the absence of a relationship with the mother being gone,
Mm.
but the I watching the film, you could swear that you were like truly had grown up with that group of women kind of situation. How did you cultivate those relationships in the script and then also on set as well? Did you do anything special for that?
I mean, on set, I did just like spend time individually with each of them. That was beautiful, and I had sort of written it that way. I mean, I think there's so much, there was so much writing around the stuff that isn't. There was so much, yeah. There's an awful for the what 15 pages of text that
Uh-huh.
actually got made. There was probably more like 300 pages of text that never got seen, because yeah, I think I knew, like I know very much Scarlett's relationship with all of those women individually, and I know
Mhm.
like they are sort of based on people I know, but also they're an amalgamation, and it's all, you know, so there's definitely not, they're not there's never a person for person. I didn't copy relationships, but I think I really just, yeah, I just did a lot of writing around what those would be like.
Mhm.
Because also one of the things that I found that was very interesting when my own mother died was that all of her friends, they sort of created versions of her, and it was incredible because like they're all like the incredible, like stubborn Birkenstock wearing beautiful weirdos,
Uh-huh.
and they all had their like opinions,
Mm.
and I think they were all not accurate, but if you put them all together, they were like,
Mm.
they were all, you know, like in the same way that we're all different people with different friends, you know.
Yeah.
And I think when you put them together, it's like, ah, that's who she really was. But then if you take them apart, it's like, I think you're revealing a lot more about yourself than you are about the person you're talking about. And I think that was that was a sort of like revelation into like, I can actually, you can find a lot of character when you're making a character talk about someone they love.
Mm. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Um, I, one of my last questions here. What do you want people to take away from the film the most? They leave your film. What do you want them to take away?
Hmm. That's a good question. No one's asked me that question. Oh, I don't know. I think I want them to. I think the complexity of grief,
Mm.
and that it's not something to be feared necessarily. I think the idea that, you know, that there's light and shade in it, that like grief is awful, but it's also, you know, I think like death is what makes life worth living.
Yeah.
Really, it's like how used car salesmen can like kind of shtup you on the price because they're like, this is, it goes away tomorrow, and you're like, I need it, and you're like, and that is what life is, you know, it goes away tomorrow, so you've got to.
Yeah.
And I think grief, you know, people I remember when not that long after mom died, people were like, grief is the price you pay for love, and I was like, yeah, and I think I'm being overcharged.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Wow,
Yeah,
that's the most accurate thing I've heard in a while.
it
Oh,
was, yeah, I really like, I think it's not, it's a bad deal, it's a bad investment, I
yeah.
think. But also, you know, I'm sort of in a different place with it now, and I think there's just so much, there's just, I don't know, I'm a hopeless romantic, and I think there's a lot of beauty and in it. And
Mm.
I'm a hopeless romantic and an ardent feminist, and I just think like like heterosexual love is like meant to be between a man and a woman, you know, like romantic love is meant to be this thing above all other things. And
Yeah.
actually I'm like, no, that's like, for Scarlett, certainly in the film, it's the thing that she like longs for, and then she's like, oh, I think I had all of this stuff
Mm.
already. It's like,
Yeah.
this is also nice, it's not that, but also no, there's so much, this isn't the thing that makes me fine. It's
Right.
like, I am fine because of the women that my mom gave me, you know, I'm fine
Yeah.
because of everyone who has always been around me, not that thing that I'm looking for, you know. So I think it's that, yeah, I think that there's maybe that there's like beauty and comedy in everything.
Mhm.
And I think that being able to laugh is really, I think also like laughter is medicine. It doesn't cure everything,
Yeah.
to be honest, but I think being able to laugh is really is a really important thing. And if you're not in a place where you're able to laugh, then you need some help, and you need to
Mhm.
like call your witches, and like there are always people. And I think that's the other thing, is that like certainly I've been in some dark spaces, and I feel like so consumed with loneliness, and it's that I'm just like not able to see the beautiful love in my life. And so
Mhm.
I wanted, when I'd sort of come out of that, I was like, I think I have to make a film that shows that even if you don't recognize it at the time, it's there. So I
Mhm.
think, that basically.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mm.
absolutely. Well, that was absolutely beautiful. Just a balm for the soul, the whole conversation. My last question for you, what are you working on next? What can we expect from you next? Do you have anything to plug or point people towards?
I don't really have anything to plug. I mean, I'm on Instagram. I suppose that's what people do, isn't it? I'm on
Yep.
Instagram. Molly MOLY_OHHH. Like
Okay.
you're screaming my last name into the void, I guess. And I'm working on the series adaptation of Misfortunate, which
Oh,
I
awesome.
think could be cool. I'm also in post production for a short that is also like a proof of concept, called Hello, I'm a Ghost,
Mm.
which I'm pretty excited about, which I'm making with Alice Engler. She's a fantastic director and actor. And yeah, I've just like busy. I'm mainly in the TV space because I like characters,
Yes.
and it breaks my heart. I like, if you write a character, you want to spend time with them.
Yeah, develop them and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm not anti features. I'm just like, oh, I just fall in love with people too much,
Yes.
I guess.
Yeah, yeah. You don't want it to end.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's me. That's what I'm working on at the moment. Yeah.
All right, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for talking with us today. And to everybody out there watching, thank you so much for tuning in and for supporting Tallgrass.